Welcome back to the stream, guys. Failure Friday. We're currently in Catalina Island, and as you can see, the weather not exactly going to help us today. Presumably. I think the overcast level is about 200 feet off the runway. But that's only going to last until we make landfall, so we got a 20-mile trip to basically Los Angeles. Total it'll be about 220 nautical miles. I have a couple of VORs on standby in case we lose navigation or GPS or something, and we'll deal with all the other failures as they come. I have not done anything with the plane. I have just set fuel to max, and I've got my personal weight set to the internal payload. So we'll do the walk around really quick, get it started. Once we get the engines fired up, we'll go ahead and turn the failures on, which again are at, I think, 400 mean time between failures, so 1 in 400 chance per hour of each system, and figured since this plane has the rep pack, probably a higher chance maybe of getting a failure. Let's see. I'm not going to even test the ailerons. I'm not doing anything. Just going to toggle the tie downs. But as far as I can remember, the last time that I flew it, I'm in a pretty good habit of doing the walk arounds and making sure everything is kosher when I leave. And since this plane doesn't have a GPU, obviously, we're going to go ahead and get it started immediately. And then we have the failures on. Come on. Maybe. There we go. Close it. That'll do. It has been a while. Battery on. Go ahead and get our beacon and nav lights going. Fuel condition lever all the way forward. We'll go ahead and open the throttle to prime it. And somewhere, boost pump, there we go, watch the fuel pressure on the top, right here. When it stops moving, kill that. Crack the throttle about an inch, and we'll bring our fuel condition lever back too. Double check the parking brake is on. Where is the parking brake in this plane? There. Alternator can come on. Before I even turn the avionics on, we'll go ahead and get the failure system going. Failures, set global mean time, so 400 hours global mean time between failures. Done and apply. Avionics master. I believe 122.8. Let me double check here for it. We have Unicom, and then we get on to LA Center, so we have facilities. SoCal approach. 126.7, 127.4. Already on VFR. Even though we're not in VFR conditions, that's fine. Not a real flight. I'm going to aim for 12,000. Can't go any higher because it's not really pressurized. Oh, carb ice. Forgot carb heat.
Takeoff, Echo Charlie Mike, turning final 34.
And we're just going to go direct to Henderson Executive, which is about 20 miles outside of the strip. That'll be easiest. And in case this goes down, we still have the nav radios, presumably. So delete flight plan KAVX to Henderson, which is Kilo Hotel, November Delta. And that'll give us our distance as well. And the rules for Failure Friday, of course, over 200 nautical miles. So it's going to start from Long Beach, which would have been 197. That does not meet the requirements unless we added some waypoints, which I thought would be a little bit more exciting to make us have a little water flight first. So 223 nautical miles, put that on the GPS, set heading for 034 on the CDI. Heading over to. Try not to use autopilot because the noise when you disable it is absolutely awful. And before we take off, we'll get our ATIS real quick. I'm not going to use the radio, I'll just pull it up on active skies. So we are at Catalina Island, and that is winds 110 at 4 knots. Visibility 8, overcast at 200 feet. So basically take off and go straight into the clouds. And I believe this ceiling is like 4,000. Altimeter is 2,995. Plane is already trimmed. Let's see, we got our transponder out. Go ahead and get her some flaps.
Clear the active runway 34. And Romeo, I think turning final 34, Midland, number 1, full stop.
And I want to switch the fuel pump to left wing. I should have had that on the center pumps in the first place. Alrighty, guys.
Midland traffic, Hotel Lima November, active side about to join, cross midfield to join left downwind.
Zeri Flies, thanks for the follow. And welcome. If you're just joining us for the first time, Failure Friday, the rules are below. We've got all failures turned on. Global mean time between failures is 400, which means 1 in 400 chance per hour that any one of over 200 parts can fail. And we've got to go at least 200 nautical miles. Looks like the cylinder head temperature is in the green mark now too.
Lima November, cross midfield, joining left downwind for 34.
Midland area traffic, Romeo Sierra Sierra, reporting 15 back to the southwest, level is 3,500. We're estimating the field in 7 minutes. We'll call again overhead.
Never played a flight sim, very ignorant journalist. Think about starting playing a flight sim to get started. There you got lots of options, man. If you're just interested in doing some flying around, I think Aerofly FS is a pretty interesting option because you don't really have to know a lot about airplanes. You can kind of set the flaps and then just take off and go. I mean, the physics aren't super advanced or anything like that, but I think the big two for civil aviation are X-Plane and Prepared 3D or P3D. And for combat sims, it's DCS. So we're playing X-Plane today, which is my go-to, and I guess most of the guys I hang around with into X-Plane. But the other one, big one for P3D is like for, I think a lot of guys use that, are into airliners and stuff. Real quick, on the hold short, getting ready to take off, so we'll go ahead and get our strobe lights on. Beacons are already on, nav lights, don't need boost pumps. Landing lights can come on, and I do want to check the controls that are free and clear, and looks like we're getting proper response out here. See some rudder movement.
Hotel Lima November.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. There is a demo. I think it's only the Seattle area, and I believe it's only for 30 minutes or something, but yeah, you should give that a go if you're interested.
Cardinal, you see that tiger moth right in front of you.
Hotel Lima November with the traffic.
Alrighty, guys. What's up, dude? Just in time for takeoff. Failures are already on, and we're taking off, flying straight into a cloud bank.
The wind is 280.5 knots.
Thank you. What is your active, please?
A-ring 34.
Yeah, you can use an Xbox controller if you want. When I first started playing flight sims, that's what I did, but I've got a flight stick and pedals and stuff now. But an Xbox controller is perfectly fine, and you can actually use your mouse and keyboard. I think one of the guys that's in our Discord actually flew with a keyboard and mouse for a long time and got pretty proficient at it.
Traffic Romeo Sierra Sierra coming up overhead the field now, level at 3,000. We'll cross over from west to east, turn around and come back and join a mid left-hand downwind landing 3-4 Midland. Conflict Romeo Sierra Sierra.
Alright, the gear came up, that's a good thing. I don't have any bots in here. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link below. It says UMA. You can click on it and go straight to our Discord. I'm not technologically proficient enough to be able to figure that out in the first place, but B, the bots are kind of annoying. So I want to climb to about 12,000 today. Fatty, I think you missed the pre-takeoff briefing, but essentially we're flying from Catalina to Henderson Executive in Las Vegas. So I thought it'd be interesting. There's like a, the sea fog right now, so you can't see anything below 4,000. And we got to do a 25-mile ocean crossing before we can get to land. Just making things interesting. Yeah, it might be up for a swim. Brought my swimming trunks.
140 lining up threshold runway 14. We're going to be departure right hand turn out 4 Charlie Field ground.
Yeah, there is multiplayer in this game. There's a native multiplayer, but I don't think any of us have ever used it. Mostly you fly on VATSIM, or there's another one called, what is it? I forgot. FS Cloud. Hey, Deutsch, what's up, man? Happy Friday to you.
Traffic long time November 30 is on the right hand turn out departing the circuit westbound Charlie Field.
Just took off. So no crashes yet. This is one of my favorite parts about flight simulators. Someone in here is contemplating getting into flight sims but doesn't know anything about it. But when you break through the clouds and you get to float on the top of them for a little while like this, that's fucking tits, dude. Come on. How awesome is that? Well, to be fair, for all he knows, we could have crashed and I could have reset. I actually got to pay attention to gauges and stuff now.
Traffic Bravo Sierra Delta taking position 14 and holding for traffic.
Game recalled. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Traffic echoing Sierra short final 14.
That's a big old sausage dog. I guess that was pretty quick work with those clouds.
Traffic Bravo Sierra Delta taking position 14 for immediate departure to the circuit.
We'll go and get it on SoCal approach because we're heading into LA airspace.
Approach Georgia.
This is the SIAI Marchetti. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it can do rolls like this.
4,000. Count at 260 to 5,000. 5,000,
Today, I think the chances are pretty good. We got a good failure the last time. The gear didn't come down right, and this one is about the same distance. It's 220 nautical miles, but it's going to take us longer because we're not going to be able to cruise that fast because we're flying this old bucket of bolts.
Boy 3692 at the Woodhill, contact tower 1187.
Okay, 887 at Woodhill, 3692.
What's adventures for me? Are you talking about the roll? I did it for you. Now you basically turned into Melon in his stead now since he's gone. Just shows up, he's like, do a barrel roll, crash your plane, you know, that kind of trash talk. Nothing useful from that guy anymore. Top Gun bros! I gotta say, I mean, I'm excited, but I don't want the movie to be, like, the plot is gonna be like him having to get into some fighter jet space plane and going to shoot down laser satellites or some shit. Like, why was he wearing that high pressure suit? I want the movie to be about F-18s, or, you know, throwing some F-14 somehow. Open the roof? Alright. Oh, the noise! Actually, when I do that, it pushes the plane down. That's cool.
7007. Okay, Zulu, these 88 is 3019er. Approach will be 15 left. Descend to 8,000.
Roger, down to 8,000. We got 03019 Air Canada 700.
Andrew was looking at flights to the UK. Get real, dude. To come watch Top Gun? Dumber than eggs, boy. Oh yeah, Aloha 240. That was that 737? Part of the roof flew off. Yeah, a little bit higher than us. What you guys should do, when it's coming out in 2020, I might be able to go then. Jeez, it feels like forever away. Next summer.
And on 4,000, Georgia, 7371.
Watchjet 156 at the Woodhill, contact tower 1187.
Really, there we go.
Tank switch.
Big O 12 Echo Julie Delta Medevac, you can proceed direct my tux, descend to 9,000.
Right, touchdown to 9,000, Echo Julie Delta Medevac.
Roger. Bird 6201, contact the approach 12447.
447.
What if we all showed up at once? You have a small car, don't you? Or you have like a minivan because you're a soccer dad. That'd be kind of hilarious if all of a sudden you had like 10 guys that showed up to the UK just to come watch Top Gun with you.
Quebec 6201, right, just speed 190 knots.
190.
Landy, that's handy. Yo, this trip is gonna take forever. I'm gonna bring the speed way up here. I don't know what I was doing. Was she not into Top Gun? The girl that I've kind of been seeing has never seen Top Gun, and we're the same age. I don't know how that's possible.
180 to descent, flight Alice 15 left approach.
Also, here's a question for everybody. When you guys learned in school north, south, east, and west, did you learn like a mnemonic device to help you remember that? Yeah, exactly. There's just 4, right? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, never eat soggy waffles. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you need to remember that with like a mnemonic device? Just remember the 4 directions. It's like left and right. Never eat shredded wheat. That one too. Yeah. So at least she's not the only one then. Oh, we got some more clouds. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, Dad.
3 Bravo Hotel, speed 170 knots, and contact tower at Woodhill 118.7.
Alright, 87 at Woodhill and...
You hadn't been around much anyway. The first time I saw you in the last 2 weeks was yesterday. You're just kind of creeping in the background.
Count at 260, Clyde Alice 15.
Big fatty, me too. I didn't think it was that hard for people. Five days, it felt like an eternity.
Bravo, Georgia.
How do I live without you?
Georgia 7371, right, just speed 190 knots.
Oh yeah, I guess that's probably the right answer. I think that's Long Beach. Maybe. No, what is that? I would turn on little nav map, but every time I alt-tab without the autopilot on, the plane rolls. So... And you know what kind of noise this makes when you disconnect the autopilot.
Speed 180 knots.
180.
What? Melon said that's pot calling the kettle black, eh?
Dia 061, descend 4,000.
What did you say? Too bad we can't ban him. I tried to get him to give us full executive privileges for the Discord. He never responded, just pretended like I never messaged him.
Count at 260, speed now.
Yeah, I don't even know why I asked. It's probably a futile effort. What is the spinner? Where? On the nose? Oh yeah, I guess she is pretty big.
Mike Victor, speed now 170 knots, and contact tower 118.7.
I basically have it firewalled, and we're only climbing at 500 feet a minute, but we're going like airspeed at 120. What's our ground speed?
Sergeant 7371, sound left heading 240. 240, heading 3771.
Ground speed 143. Actually, let's keep it on this guy. Man, you say that now? Just wait till you get your new GPU too. Holy cow! Awesome new. I told you it was good, right? McFaddy does kind of the same thing. After all the shit that I talked about X Aviation, I think I didn't want to ever buy anything from there again. But if I didn't have the TBM, I would probably still be torn. That is an awesome plane.
Cabin 260, hold speed 170 knots to Woodhill, contact tower down 118.
Yeah, they still suck, but I mean, I think the thing that sucks the most is they have the TBM cornered. Like, why I don't understand how that happened. Fucking, you're banned. Oh, you think anybody from XA is still watching my stream? Oh, what's his face probably out there seething still?
Code Juliet Delta medevac descend 6,000. 6,000, Echo Juliet Delta medevac.
Checking everything is in the green. This altimeter stopped working. Turn on pitot heat.
007, descend 6,000, make your speed now 200 knots, please. Okay, Delta 6,000, back to 200 knots, sir, Canada 700.
I would guess no.
India 061, no delay now, descend to 3,000. 3,000, no delay, so the
I'm surprised X-Plane runs at all on Mac, considering how poorly it's like coded in the first place, or optimized, I guess.
Good morning, Fair Canada.
Well, there's the static port and then there's an alternate. I don't know how that would work. It's still stuck there. Primary seems to be working. Climbing through 8, or almost at 9,000. That one's still reading almost 3,000. Just better to be safe than sorry. Where is the alternate static port? Let's see.
And just maintain your present heading as well. Echo Juliet Delta, medevac, you're on vectors for approach 15.
Ours is good to know. Emergency avionics master.
Vectors for 15 left.
And all of the fuses are modeled too, so if we pop one of those, yeah, we got choices. So far we haven't had an engine failure. Most of them, except for last week's, was pretty tame. I think the first week there was like a linkage failure or something on takeoff where the rudder, the elevators weren't working, so I just aborted the takeoff and then reset it, and then we didn't have another failure for the flight. The next one was the 767, and just like the first officer's PFD, display stopped working. Then last week's was the landing gear failure, which was cool. And so far this week we've got an altimeter out.
India 061, contact arrival 12447. 12447,
That or the manifold pressure is really low. Let's see if it moves if I bring the throttle up. It seems to be working. It's responding.
Good morning, Saudi 061 Heavy, descending 3000.
Saudi 061, roger, at 3,000, speed of 200 knots.
At 3,000 feet, 200
Climb should be around 35. Well, maybe something else is going wrong. Oops. Oil pressure is in the green. It's a little low, but oil temperature is okay. Cylinder head temperature is okay. Switch tanks.
170 in the Woodhill, then over 3 in the tower.
No, but I'm not at, I should be climbing. I'm trying to get up to 10,000 feet, because I think there's some terrain up here. I don't know when these clouds are going to clear. I'd be a little embarrassed if Failure Friday ended with me crashing into terrain in a perfectly good airplane. Guys, I love ortho. It looks so good.
Coach Juliet Delta Medevac, fly heading 240, descend to 4,000.
240, 4,000, Coach Juliet Delta Medevac.
Saudi 061, Telmont heading 240.
240, Saudi 061.
Calm down. See, this is what I'm talking about. Deutsch is basically melon now. Get a hobby, dude. Between McFaddy and Ither, I would imagine that you guys would be able to figure out a way to write a script that would allow you to control the failures remotely. And I'm surprised that you haven't. And a little disappointed. Alright, there's 10,000.
Saudi 061, flying 210, speed of 190 knots.
210, speed of 190 knots,
You mean the cowl flap? Oh. I don't think this plane has actual cowl flaps. So no, I don't think so.
Canada 7007, 5300 for 4,000. Canada 7007, good day at 12,000, speed 190 knots, fuel flow, and 87 on final caution, weight 10 knots. Roger, level like 4,000, speed 190. Air Canada 7007.
Well, I'm getting this avoid high temperatures warning up here. I've reduced the power quite a bit.
Send you at 3,000.
It's in the green arc. Bring it down further. Might have an engine failure yet.
Charlie 061, fly heading 180 to descent, quiet ILS 15 left approach.
That'd be fun. We can hope. Fortunately, I think the clouds are about to end here in a minute.
Canada 7007, turn right heading 060.
Oil temp is also really high too. What the hell is going on? Commander Mander, thanks for the follow, dude. Welcome aboard.
Departure, hello, South Core 3251 now with you, climbing through 3800 to 6000.
South Core 3251, departure today identified, clear direct end and climb 1 south.
Direct to entered and now continue the climb 16,000, 16,000 for Encore 3251.
Yeah, I brought the power back a little bit, so it's not super low. But the oil temperature is a little worrisome. I just enriched the mixture to hopefully bring that down a little bit.
431, contact center now, 12877.
Ah, it's in the green now. Cylinder head temperature is okay. Oil temperature is okay. Manifold pressure is still really low. It's fine now. That's part of the fun. Still haven't crashed on Failure Friday. Wait, does a no landing gear? That was a survivable landing. That's not a crash, is it? Getting off course here. And if something's gonna blow, we got 168 miles for it to happen. Plenty of time left. Especially at this speed, we're only got 142 knots. I'm surprised Deutsch even comes around for regular streams. I mean, if all he does is show up and be like, hey, crash, blow up your plane, why do you even come to the regular ones? Actually, no, I take that back. I know why he comes to stream. To learn how to fly airplanes. That dude doesn't have a clue. Hookers, bananas and blow. It's a good thing the clouds ended right here, because I would have been flying straight into that mountain.
Wayship 589, Gemini, right at 55216,000.
Well, I'd shut up your streams too if you didn't do it at 3 in the morning here.
Yeah, up to 16,000 on a 3,000 right direct Foxconn course at 589.
Roger.
Also, when was the last time you streamed? It's been a minute, eh? Like 2 weeks ago when you did the Nürburgring laps, eh? What, about 2 weeks ago? To be fair, you've been legit busy. Doing real life stuff. Oh, if anyone's got a drink, let's do a simultaneous sip. I got my coffee here. Tell me when you're ready. Grab your drinks, cups, your mugs, your steins, your glasses, your flasks, your chalices, thermoses, water bowls, whatever. Big boy things. Oh, McFaddy starting the Friday right.
3000, proceed direct to beyond course.
Climb 16,000 through 3,000. Right turn directly on course for Canada 415.
Cheers, boys. And possibly girl. Not so anonymous anymore, I guess. Probably shouldn't say this on stream, but as a teacher I feel like some of my finest lessons have been when I was kind of hungover from the night before, like still a little bit drunk. It's good, silly, the kids appreciate that.
2877, what's your 589?
Sky Vector stuff, see what's going on here. Henderson Executive. Las Vegas approach 118.4.
Question 697, terminal fuel identified, climb to 16,000, to meet 3,000, turn right for direct course.
Is that a highway? Holy moly. Some stunt jumps down there.
Canada 415, contact center down 12877, see ya.
2877, Air Canada 415.
Yeah, I bet, like, comparatively, though, I mean, obviously, all joking aside, I bet Michigan has terrible roads compared to California, because so much freezing and water and stuff gets in there and then cracks them apart, right? I haven't been to Wisconsin in a really long time, but I remember going up there as a kid to visit relatives and stuff, and I was like, how do people drive on this stuff? Do we do a loop? I'm not going to do a loop, I'll do a roll. I don't even think we have the power to do a loop. Look at my airspeed. Here's for you, Deutsche boy. Also, I made this as about as dangerous as possible. Taking off into IFR conditions on a VFR flight, 25-mile ocean crossing, single engine, mountainous terrain. What more do you want? Yeah, no loop. I told you, not gonna happen. In McFaddy, I'd probably be inclined to believe you. Although I've never been to Michigan, it is geographically, you know, similar to Wisconsin. This guy has shown up, never streams himself, never comes around, shows up, tells me what to do in mine. This seat's for you, dude. Get back there.
Charlie, Charlie, thank you. That's all correct. And 3019er on the altimeter.
Can we pull more than 2 Gs? Yeah, I'm not sure what the maximum load is. But acrobatics are approved. This is this livery, Air Combat USA, is a real livery. There's like that. I think it's. We looked it up before. I think it's like $600, but you can go and do air combat with other planes that use the Marchettis. What this is. I'm trying to get to Las Vegas, guys. Holy moly, that looks awful. Is that picture in Michigan? Top right of the dash.
Just another couple miles. I'll have you
2 Gs during landing travel. Oh, getting high engine temperatures again. Cylinder head temperatures. What is going on? Something is wrong with the airplane.
Descend at 9,000.
That's during landing travel, so I imagine like when you've got your flaps out and your gear deployed and stuff like that. Flip this tank over here.
735 trees clear direct my tuck.
My tuck's going to be pretty,
Oh, I told you, man, that thing, you easily get 5,000–6,000 feet. What I do, I usually climb up to like 7,000 or 9,000 feet and then basically go to full power, whatever your power setting can be at that level. Let it build up over 200 knots, and then do flight level change and keep it at 124.
Okay, 170 Woodhill, 187 there, Canada 700.
That's probably going to be the next plane that I do for Failure Fridays. I think it's probably better to do planes that have a lot of systems modeled, because the chances of you having something going wrong is higher. I mean, we got 2 failure, well, I'm guessing 2 failures. There's at least 1 failure. We got the altimeter, and there's definitely something going on with the engine right now. All you got to do with flight level change, like once you get level, press or get your altitude, your next altitude set, scroll that in, press flight level change, and then use the speed wheel, and on the PFD, on the pilot side, scroll it so that the airspeed, the indicated airspeed reads 124 knots. And then the plane will pitch up. It's basically climbing in IAS mode. We're also losing speed.
447, call arrive on 12447. 447.
Yeah, I mean they call it flight level change, but it's essentially IAS mode.
Cover the morning on course 3461, 1000, descending 9,000, take Zulu, set up 50. Course 34612, it is 3019er, 15 left.
Well, it is essentially, you basically set it so you can keep a speed and not have to worry about stalling while you're climbing. And if you look through the checklist that's on the G1000, it says, I think, that the suggested climb rate is 124, 125 knots or something like that. I gotta turn this shit off. Show tips. Oh, there you go. Thank you. It's also cheating. I want to see by myself if something's going wrong. And clearly something is going wrong, and I don't know what it is. Well, we're in the desert. There's plenty of space around here. Like dry riverbed. We're fine. The field out there. I don't think I have the distance or the altitude to be able to glide that far, though. A lot of stuff to be keeping an eyeball on. Aiden was saying that during his check ride, his plane was having some sort of RPM issues. Like it was revving really weird, something that he wasn't used to, which would have been an extra level of stress, eh? Same one that you got. I got a 1080 Ti. But mine's air-cooled, not water-cooled. So I think you'll be able to run these settings with this. I guess I stream at 30 FPS at 1080p, but I probably get around 40 or something, 40, 45, 50 consistently at low altitudes, and then usually if you're cruising in like a passenger jet, 60 or more. Yeah, dude. What's your CPU? Also, McFaddy, if you noticed, the whistle isn't there. Which means that the airspeed is low, right?
8,000 feet on course, 3415.
I-5 over clock. Yeah, you'd be fine. Even with like an older CPU, I imagine you can still brute force a lot of stuff with your the 1080 versus what you've got now.
The arrival on the my route, will you fly heading 010?
Could be. I'll have to check the maintenance log when we're done. Bring power up a little bit. See, now the oil temperature is getting high too. Oh, we got 130 miles to go. Jeez. I don't know, guys. What do you think the chances are we make Las Vegas?
6,000 Delta Charlie.
I didn't even know this plane was supercharged.
Cata 447, Denmark heading 180 to descent, but now that's 15 left approach.
Yeah, oil temperature's creeping up too. What the F?
Yeah, left 15 left approach.
3.5 chance. Assuming out of 10. Plenty of flat space out here to land, though.
Tree 5, tree contact, arrival 12447. Arrival 2447, during 33. Yes.
This is a little stressful, not gonna lie. Spinner's too big. That's probably. That sounds right.
Now direct to my touch.
I'm not a scientist, but you know.
My touch, Delta Charlie.
Oil temperature is technically in the green. Oil pressure, she's right on the cusp.
Pressure 518. Pressure 518, 12.31.
I think if I just keep these power settings, fuel mixture where it's at, we might make it okay. It's still going to take us a while, GS. So 132 nautical miles, and we're going, our ground speed's 133 knots.
Canada 690, contact center 13355.
What was the problem with it?
Canada 690.
You know, McFaddy should just gift you his. He never uses it. He's too afraid to play. You gotta get in there and get over your fear, McFaddy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, it was like at 140 when we first leveled off. 147. Well, it might be wind.
Golf Kilo Quebec, we have takeoff, clear to Arnavo with 2-3 approach. Takeoff, clear the RNAV 2-3 approach, go quick.
So I thought dogs had sort of natural antibiotic properties in their saliva. I mean, obviously they lick their ass all day, but... So, yeah, give him Takeoff, give him yours, you never use it. He played with us one time. He found some NVGs on his first raid, and then he's like, I'm too scared.
Michael Charlie, and we just took off out of Digby, St. John. Look for
The Takeoff Charlie, that correction is clear to the St. John Airport by direct climb maintain 5,000.
I like stepped on something.
St. John Airport by direct climb maintain 5,000. It's 5147, Michael Charlie.
Takeoff Charlie, the final code change, leveling on 5,000.
Yeah, well, how are you supposed to know what you do if you never play it? You gotta practice. Or watch some tutorials. I barely have any idea what I'm doing. Kevin has no idea, but we still have a good time. The whole point is to find loot and get out with it. It's not a hard concept, McFaddy. Yeah, exactly. That's why we need you. We need you to draw fire so Kevin and I can make it out alive with that sweet loot that we found. Yeah, there's no map. It's stressful. It's supposed to get your blood pumping. Also, you can play the maps offline to learn where all the extracts and stuff are. I know most of the maps pretty well now. If you go to the Takeoff wiki page, there's maps for all of them, all the different levels that show you where the extracts are too. Roll, rash, Rokaloo's.
Golf Kilo Quebec, contact radio 185, have a great day. Put radio 185, have a great day yourself, Golf Kilo Quebec.
125 miles, we're basically there. Flight sims, people that develop for airplanes should make like, you know, with RPGs you get a character editor? You should have one of those for your pilot avatar.
Visual back up the island for 09. Try that 54, Roger, get proceed direct.
Like in, what's that game with? Elite Dangerous. $1 million idea out there if there's any airplane devs listening. $1 million. Here's a question. Like a really successful, I would say probably one of the most successful plane modules for X-Plane is a TBM, right? How much do you think they would make on that? $80 add-on, yeah. I mean, like a normal airplane. Well, let's do the TBM first. How much would you expect that Toto and the X Aviation guys pulled in from that, which is obviously a hugely successful add-on?
Jazz 954, confirm the setting 4,000. We're setting to 4,000 for Jazz 954.
You're still alive. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. But the real question isn't about that so much as it is, like, how much do you think that a regular developer, like, I don't know, run-of-the-mill Carenado fare, like their Baron, the new Baron, how much do you think they would make on something like that? Because there's not, I mean, simming's not a huge market, and then the market's subdivided into, like, civil aviation and combat aviation, and then there's subdivisions, right? You got, like, P3D guys and the X-Plane guys, like, they can't be making a ton of money.
Canada 663, looking at a 1435-230. Air Canada 663, center, good day, climb level 280.
70 grand for the TBM, yeah, but then think about what goes into development. The sweetest deal is probably for the X Aviation guys, because they're just the publishers, they don't have to do anything. I mean, Toto's not working exclusively by himself, he's got like a few guys with him, but it's plus how long was the plane in development, right? A couple years, so he's not really doing anything else, so that's his entire income for that. So really, if you say 2 years of development for the TBM, he only makes $70,000 on it. That's really not that much money.
KC3, contact center, 12712, so long. 4712, KC3, Bellagio.
Trim. 40 to 100K per airplane. You think it's that high? Well, they probably have a bigger team, too. I mean, they churn out airplanes pretty fast, don't they? Well, that's about, but I mean, also, they develop for P3D and X-Plane. And it's probably not a huge change for them to make one for P3D and then port that to X-Plane, I wouldn't imagine. Worldwide? Probably.
179er, contact center, 128.
I mean, video games have already exceeded movies in terms of what they gross for the developers and the filmmakers, blah, 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 right? Some of the biggest entertainment releases in the last few years have been video games. But it's super niche. Here's another question. Which do you think is a bigger community, sim racing or flight simming? Yeah, I would guess racing too.
Falcon Uncle 3456, Barrel 250, question due to the RNF 24. Uncle 3456, check it in, straight to
Plus, you could guess racing because it's, I think, generically, it's more accessible. Like, you can take a person who knows nothing about racing to, like, the racing cafe here, and they'll probably have a good time. Plus, all those games are so much more polished, and the UI is so much better, and they're more user-friendly than anything for flight sim, right? So I'm guessing, changing the topic, the whistle sound probably comes from the air intake on the bottom of the airplane, right? What if that's clogged, and that's why the cylinder head temperature climbed? I wonder if that's a failure that's modeled. 'Cause, I mean, the power, like, I've only got the power at about half, just to control the temperatures. Multiplayer is definitely better implemented in racing games for sure. Also, it's a little bit more applicable. We have a lot of fun doing group flights together. I think that's super cool, but it's pretty nerdy. And what's the point? The point, you're flying to and from an airport. You can add your own objectives and stuff if you want to, but it's really just kind of, you know, means to hang out with your friends. But with racing, there's usually a pretty clear-cut objective, right? Yeah, for 2019, definitely. Speaking of which, we need to have another group flight soon. If you guys aren't down, I'm probably going to fly. I'm going to do like a flight on stream to Oshkosh this week at some point. I'll switch tanks here. What plane should I fly to Oshkosh? I'm thinking P-51. Or DC-3. No, I've got a few days next week. I think I'm done Wednesday, then I got a week and a half off, then I got summer camp, then I'm off basically until I leave Korea. P-51 would be cool, but there's no VOR at Oshkosh. So what you'd have to do is probably, I can't remember what airport, I was looking at SkyVector trying to make a flight plan for it, and I think you'd have to fly to the VOR, which is like 50 miles to the south, fly directly over it, and then track a radial. Little nav map's cheating.
267 and center, good day. You're looking for lower Lloyd?
Here's another question, group related. So if there's good at 3D modeling and stuff, right? Why doesn't he make CSL files? Like, how hard do you think that would be for him to do? Turbo Commander, you wanker, get out of here. You fly Turbo Commander to Oshkosh. It's gotta be something unique, right? I mean, if he could, that would solve so many of our problems. Luton Miner, I don't even know what that is. That's super obscure. I don't think I did, no, but I should now that we've all got it. I should be pinned in the, isn't there a CSL channel on the Discord? I almost called it the Deutsch Cord. Someone pin it.
Vision 9190, sorry about that. No. Strict Suck taking across the Vegas.
Clear, direct Sunset, across the clear, 6000, please share, 9190.
I was gonna say McFaddy should get that VF-84 livery too, but he made his own.
Crew 26, descend 8000, the Lloyd altimeter is 997. 8000, 997.
You love your gray livery, and I love my Tomcat livery. Me and Deutsch love our Tomcat livery. See, this is what, you know, when Major Kong and Melon, they actually got the multiplayer, the native multiplayer with X-Plane to work, and that one doesn't use CSLs. It actually shows up your model and your livery, I believe. At very least, it shows the model for your airplane. But that would be cool as shit if we could get that to work. So we both have the VF-84 livery.
Vision 9190, if you're not there, contact me now, 13445.
Single seat open cockpit with a VW Beetle engine. What? Well, McFaddy, obviously my technological expertise is limited. You'd have to ask Melon for some more details on that. And Commander Mander, if you don't mind, you can post a link in here. Someone could look it up. I want to take a look at it, but my hands are full. Fullish.
And what else are you looking for? Second, Cougar 26. Cougar 26 in the missed approach, what else are you looking for? 13000, Cougar 26. Cougar 26, alright. You're clear, Lloyd Minster, airport 4 approach. Clear, Lloyd Minster, airport 4 and approach. We'll be doing the R0, runway 0 feet for low approach.
Vegas, baby!
There
we go. Thank you, McP.
I'd like to make sure that this frequency is good for us on the missed approach on the way to Quebec. Cougar 26, a firm,
That is cool.
This frequency on the missed approach frequency.
It reminds me like of a S-Toll plane or something, like something that would, if it had bigger tires, it would be a bush plane.
Point 3725, make the heading 020. 020,
Bravo Delta Juliet Golf. Is that your registration? Nice. Did you fly for a living, or was it a hobby?
Zone 353, Denmark heading 330. About 30,
Ouch. That's painful.
By 3725 left turn to Myra.
GA is a pretty expensive hobby in the state or in the UK, isn't it?
Core 3461, descend to 6,000 and direct my touch. 6,000 my touch, Encore.
I mean, flying anywhere, I guess, isn't cheap. Do you play X-Plane? What kind of stuff do you like to fly? And any guesses what's going wrong with my engine right now?
Charlie, contact arrival 12447.
2447, Delta Charlie, Charlie.
Still scanning around to see where I can do an emergency landing out here. Plenty of room over here. Looks like a highway down there too.
200 on
Engine is borked. Technical expertise. Cars down there doing little car things. That guy is speeding. Slow down, buddy.
43725, descend to 8,000.
8,000 on 135.
It feels like we're standing still. We still got 91 miles to go. Ground speed is 133 knots. McFaddy, not on your roads, buddy. That's why everyone in Michigan drives an SUV, eh?
43461, descend to 5,000. 5,000, down correct.
See, if I turn the autopilot on, I could look at what road that is, but then obviously I'd have to disconnect the autopilot, and it makes the worst noise you've ever heard. Ooh, alternate air. You know what? I'll try that. Alright, now the second altimeter is working.
Georgia 7353, fly heading 180.
Why didn't I do that earlier?
LS 15 left approach.
And we got a whistle.
Canada 1120.
I think I fixed our problems, dudes.
3019 into Zulu, runway is 15 left.
I'm also an idiot. See, the temperature's come down. I can probably speed it up now.
190 heading in 200 knots, intercept localizer.
Yeah, what was the issue?
First Alpha Charlie.
Alright, let's bring the power back up.
Left, 40, Delta Charlie, Charlie.
Yeah, cylinder head temperature is way down. The oil temperature is pretty good in the green. Keep it at this setting for a minute.
Arrival good down, car 3461, 6,200, descending 5,000, set up 15 left.
Call 30.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it a scream. It's a scream in the P-51. It's a whistle in the Marchetti, isn't it?
Canada 1120, descend 5,000. 5,000.
I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Yeah, look, all the temperatures are stabilized. The manifold pressure is still a little low, but I'm not sure what it should be at this altitude. Icing? Could be, maybe. I turned carb heat on, though. That shouldn't have had carb heat, and I had pitot heat. Yeah, but when I took off, I wasn't. I flew through a whole bunch of clouds, remember? So if there's already moisture in those lines, at this altitude, we're going to see what the outside temperature is. It's still above freezing, and definitely not icing. It's like 35. I'm going to scoot the power up a little bit more. now the speed's coming up.
Car 3461, 10 miles, heading 240.
That's our heading 240 on corner 35.
Yeah, see, look with the power settings now, which is way up. Cylinder head temperature is down. Oil temperature is well in the green. Pressure is still in the green, a little low.
0 knots now into Wood Hill, contact tower, the marker 118.7.
170, the marker.
And we're going almost 150 knots now. Get a weather check in Henderson.
So 193 descend 4,000 unrestricted.
4,000 unrestricted. Let's go 190.
Henderson winds 1708 knots, 10 miles, visibility clear. Temperature 29, dew point 2, altimeter 2984. 2984. Yeah, both our altimeters are working now.
West at 115 knots, total of 160 knots 4 left.
And lucky for us, we got a runway 17 at the airport. So we will enter on a right downwind for runway 17 right, which is 168 degrees. I'll go ahead and put this in as a marker.
Left 290, please visual, right on course 315.
Alternate air.
160 left over to 1955.
That little button.
571.
The blue boy.
That's 2536 directing 340 vectors, final descent to 3000.
3000 has 2536.
From the developer, is this something I did wrong? So the alternate air, the lever controls the engine air intake in fuel-injected planes. The SF-260 is not provided with it. It uses a carburetor. When moved to the on position, the air intake is taken. The air is taken somewhere else than the usual air filter. In a fuel-injected engine, using the normal air and the alternate source should not make any difference. But the air is not filtered anymore. It makes any difference. It means that your air filter is clogged. Yo, 50 Shades of Steel. How you doing? Long time no see. Welcome to Failure Friday. We did have a failure of some variety. It looks like our air filter was clogged. Which means that now we're getting unfiltered air. Right? Let's switch over to Las Vegas approach. So here's what was happening. The airspeed, well, we had to have the power back because the cylinder head temperatures were shooting up, as were the oil temperatures.
160 knots or less, power 90.
And I had to pull the power way back to keep things from overheating, and the right side altimeter stopped working. And then when I hit the Alt Air button, it seemed all our problems cleared up. Where is the alternate static port even on this plane?
That's 109, descent 3000.
So the static port got clogged, but I thought the static port would have been for, so, yeah, I'm confused. I thought that would have been just for like your pitot tube and stuff like that.
And 5,000. Then 5,000 down 6.
But why was that affecting engine performance and temperature?
Jazz 625, turn right heading 020, vectors final. Heading 020, vectors final.
Okay. See, now we got a real pilot boy in here. Could have used you like an hour ago. It's been a long flight because I had to go so slow. Oh, okay. So yeah, he's describing the same thing. Alternate air in this plane is what you would call alternate static in other airplanes. Still recommended in icing conditions. But when did I go through icing conditions? I mean, it was 27 degrees when we left Catalina. And I doubt it would have been above freezing. The cloud ceiling was at like 3,000. I don't know, we're alive. Much to Deutsch's chagrin. Negative Nancy. Actually bring up the power a little bit more.
Jazz 625, turn left heading 290, not below 2,000 feet, till established on final, cleared ILS, runway 26 right approach.
Static, pitot, vacuum, and then electrical. Alright. So in that case, so the pilot's getting his from the pitot tube, which is, I believe, under the wing. Yeah, there it is down there.
Air Canada 239, turn right heading 235, descend to 3,000, cleared for the ILS, runway 26 right approach.
Yeah, exactly. So the other one was coming in on one of the ports on the left side that controlled this altimeter.
Jazz 204, descend unrestricted to 5,000.
Okay. Uses ram air and static as well.
625, cross Sodom speed 160 knots or less. Contact tower now, 119.
So on landing, what should I do? Leave the alternate air on?
Tower now, Jazz. 625, yeah.
And just proceed as normal? Alrighty. 60 miles to go. Now we're actually cooking pretty good. 156 ground speed. No, carb heat is just for your fuel lines, right? And so, as I understand it, anything with temperature over 24 degrees with relative humidity of 75%, you'd want carb heat on.
Jazz 204, descend 4,000 unrestricted. 4,000.
Yeah, the carburetor, which is part of the fuel system. I'm not an engineer. Just ballparking here. That's also, like, as far as I understand it, that's like a feature of planes that are a bit older too. Like, that you don't really see carb heat on newer airplanes, do you?
Cruise 195, turn right heading 020, descend 3,000.
I'm probably going to screw myself, but I turned off the hints on the airplane, and I always forget to turn the carb heat on here because it's hidden behind the throttle quadrant, and I don't really switch over to the right side very often. So the carb heat is the top one there. Yeah, I would imagine so, right?
Pasco 703, descend 4,000. 4,000, Pasco 703.
Although, look, man, I forget to put my landing gear down most of the time, too. I'm gonna make a shit pilot in real life. Let's go to the right side of this mountain up here. Up to 87 degrees. Okay, that's pretty high. I thought it was like 70 something degrees. Well, I'm from Georgia. Definitely humidity pretty much all year round.
Return now 119.55.
1955 and check out 169 airport.
Ooh, not paying attention to the fuel either. Gotta switch that bad boy. Look at that. Left wing tank, right wing. Whoops. Surprised it wasn't rolling more than that.
Cruise 1985, turn left heading 290, now below 2,000 feet, till establishment on final, cleared ILS, runway 26 right approach.
So if you turn the, if you start to get carb icing, if you've forgotten to turn it on and your RPMs start to change, how quickly does it work? You have to apply it about an inch every 1 minute. Where? That's a Finn joke. Where's Finn? Oh, okay. Whenever I got that warning, I basically just pulled it on. Dan33, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Welcome to Failure Friday. You missed the failure. We figured it out, but now we got a real pilot explaining why.
Pasco 703, speed 1709.
Had a clogged airport, apparently. So we finally figured out to hit the Alt-Air button, and everything went back to normal so far. We still got about 50 miles to go. Pilot error mode, that's not wrong, that's wrong.
Pasco 703, turn right heading 235, now below 2,000 feet, till established, cleared for the ILS, runway 26 right approach.
If your pitot tube froze over, you would lose your altimeter, right? So you would switch your pitot heat on. I forgot the pitot heat on because I thought that was the issue. In fact, I could probably turn it off now because they're both freezing. Big misconception. So, alright, let me think about this for a second and answer again. If you lost...
Bridge 195, 160 knots or less.
This happened to the guys in that Around the World flight.
It's going in over to Tower 95,
So it would read a wrong altitude? I mean, you wouldn't lose it completely, it wouldn't just stop, right? I don't know. It'll lock the airspeed. Oh, okay. Hence the term static air, so it keeps that pressure. Gotcha.
703, speed 160 knots, under tower now, 119 to 455.
Indian 6965, so speed 150, 5 knots.
Then if you descend or climb, it turns out. Okay.
119 to 455.
95 knots, so
Well, here's a question. Let me look at the weather in Henderson again. So temperature is 29 and the dew point is 2, which means that the humidity is really low. So I don't need carb heat on right now. Is that correct? I'm not even watching where I'm going. I keep looking over the chat here.
Jet 1701, that's 5,000.
Yeah, I know that if the temperature and the dew point are similar, that's when you lose visibility, right? But I thought that was because of humidity. So if I pull up a MITAR for Henderson,
Jet 1701, 160 knots.
how would you know the humidity? I don't think it says it on there.
160 left totem and over the tower, Plano 2000 ATL, 060 Plano.
Roger, thank you.
Like looking at the METAR now for Henderson, I basically just stop when I get to the altimeter and then the remarks start. ATIS, AWAS, and ASOS, right?
Thank you, Quebec Foxtrot 1 ready, descend at 9,000.
9,001 ready, take Quebec Foxtrot.
That's correct.
50 Shades showing up, basically doing ground school here. That's awesome.
United 504, descend to 15,000.
Descend to 15,000, United 504.
That's correct.
I imagine Henderson is probably getting theirs from Las Vegas, because it's only like 10 miles to the north. So let's look at Las Vegas. So even Las Vegas, I don't see anything that would be humidity. It says K-loss from 19 at 056 Zulu, winds 1805 knots, 10 miles, visibility clear, temperature 29, 2.1, altimeter 29er 79er. Airnav.com. Okay, I'm using SkyVector. Weird, the ATIS in Las Vegas is saying altimeter is 29er 79er, and in Henderson is 29er 84. AirNav is what you use on the iPad and the jet. Alright. That's the only endorsement that I need. Also, look at our ground speed now, 161. Yeah, boy.
Visual approach runway 0 and then at both 5,000 until final, both catching up now.
I'll try what you
Celsius to Fahrenheit? No, I don't. Not quickly, but I've lived in a country that uses Celsius for the last 10 years, so I'm pretty good at, like, a guess conversion.
10:30, thanks for the help.
So when I read, like, a METAR, for example, it's not a big deal for me when I see Celsius. But, yeah, what's the quick way to do it? Or is there, like, a formula or something that you can use?
Roger, traffic is 12 o'clock, 6 miles northwestbound, they indicate 4,000.
Alright, using 20 degrees. Hit me, Daddy. 20 times 2, 40. minus 10%. So that'd be minus 8. Or minus 4, right? Yeah. Okay. So times 2, then minus 10%.
Papa Charlie.
And then add 32.
So 149 contact, the first on 121.3, check Mr. Heavy.
1.03, we'll do 149.
Times 2 minus 10% plus 32. I'm writing that down. You do that a lot of work? There you go. This was an enlightening. We learned all sorts of things in this stream, didn't we? We're not even done. See, that's the good insider knowledge that I need. Let's see what we got here. 30 miles.
And it's a 49 heavy, turn left heading 360.
Left heading 360, turning into 589.
So I'm guessing that like where Las Vegas is. So Henderson should be right over this little ridge of mountains. If you do backwards, you can do the reverse. You probably can. I'm terrible, man. I was an English major.
Left
heading 340, turning into 589.
Actually, when I first went to college, I wanted to do medicine, and I had a biochemistry class, and I was like, nah, see ya, see ya. These numbers, man, no. Get going. Not even there yet, McFaddy. Hurry up and get to work. Might still see the landing.
5339, maintain 160 knots, contact tower 120.5.
Your highest math level when you got hired at Comm Air Delta? Man, I would guess algebra? Pre-algebra, got an F. Well, I guess like the FMC does a lot of that work now for you, doesn't it?
Inside, guys, 4902.
4902, you think you have the turn it down for about 3
It was basically the same for me. So when I got to university studying English, I think after that biochemistry class, which I dropped, there's one class called Great Ideas of Modern Mathematics, and it was basically just like permutations and I don't know, really simple stuff. It made me feel dumb. Hey, that's smart, man. Whatever works. It's funny because my sister, she's an engineer, and she has the exact opposite kind of brain that I do. She's really good at math, but absolutely terrible with words. Later, McFaddy. Thanks for hanging out.
170 on the speed over the tower, skies 4902.
Alright, so there's Henderson. We're still heading towards it. Start descending here. See ya! I'm gonna get my see ya spam. Oh man, no, I totally forgot. I think I subscribed to your channel though. Let me double check. What's your channel name again? Let me pull that up. Let me double check that I subscribed. I'm pretty sure I did.
Southwest 1148, passing in Bridge Airport site, so maintain 4,000.
4,000, they're both inside, so Southwest.
So I have nothing but, you know, free time in the afternoon at work basically. Oh god, I'm not paying attention.
Southwest 1148, from Menlo at or above 4,000.
Somebody take the wheel for a second.
Left stretch, reduce speed to 210.
Well, 210, I'm in the lateral 4, tiptoe visual, straight left, Southwest 740.
Southwest 1148.
There we go. I did not subscribe. No, now I am.
5.5, Southwest 1148 every day.
I'm gonna leave that page up too. Always struggle with doing nav exams. I always thought Pythagoras was a kebab shop. Yeah, me too. That's all. I'm not worried about my PPL. I'm a little worried about the instrument rating. It's like, I don't know, it's daunting just thinking about that. There's Vegas, guys.
United 820.
And that's where we're going.
United 820, sorry, we're checking in level 6.
United 820, reduce speed to 220 to maintain 4,000.
Speed 220, 4,000, United 820.
Generally, I kind of feel like as long as you don't give up pretty much anything that you want to do, you can do as long as you have the motivation to get there. So I'm not that worried about it. It is just, I think, it's a little daunting thinking about all that kind of stuff. Rensler, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I've been teaching for the last 10 years, and I've saved up a bunch of money, so I want to go try to get a commercial pilot's license. I'm leaving in about a month to go back to the States and get started on that. So it's good to have someone like here teaching me the ropes. For free, basically. Closest airport is KLZU, Briscoe Field in Gwinnett. And there's a couple flight schools there.
Saturday 20, turn right in 340.
Return heading 340.
Peachtree to Cab's not too far down the road, but I kind of feel like it would be better to learn in less demanding airspace, because that's technically in Hartsfield airspace.
Saturday 20, reduce speed further to 200, then to maintain 3,000. You may exit the Bravo for traffic that's looking for you to fix the bus.
Texas, now I'm in Georgia. Georgia. Also, not to argue, but Georgia has the best state song. If you want to fight, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get it on our right wingtip. Giving you an idea, Kilo Lima Zulu uniform. Alternatively, there was a Peachtree to Cab, which was Kilo Papa Delta Kilo.
United 820, heavy traffic now 1 o'clock, 6 miles, westbound 6,000.
Oh boy.
United 820 to maintain 2,500, turn left heading 330.
330, 2,500.
The CAE used to require you to... Well, I'm glad I missed those days. Yeah, ATP is a good... well, I want to do my private license probably by myself, because ATP would be a little bit ridiculous to go for there. I think it would probably cost $4,000 or $5,000 more. That's kind of what I want to do. Like, to be really honest, my goal is to find any job where I can fly, right? So if I get to the point where I can get a CFI and do that for a while just to get more hours, I would be perfectly happy doing that, even though I'm not making a lot of money.
United 820, we got the traffic. I'm going to deal them back.
Part 91, yeah, ground and private, exactly. I'm guessing here you would probably do left traffic, because right now, like, I'm on a... technically what would be a right downwind for 17 right, but I am right on the approach course. This is... there'd be 737s honking the horn at me right now. That's fine. They're fine.
So it's 4590 to maintain 4,000.
That's when I was at home last time, there's a thing called Eagle Flight, which I guess is nationwide. But basically, if you suggest that you're interested in getting a private license or a commercial license or whatever, someone that owns a plane will take you up and let you fly for a bit. So I did that with some guys, and I hung out with them for an afternoon, asked them a bunch of questions, and they said that one of the big things right now is that so many pilots are retiring, and no one's really replacing them, so.
United 820, maintain 180 knots and kind of trim to the sky 120.5. Good morning.
Ready, knock over to tower, United 820, good morning.
So it's 4590 to the left, heading 360, where do you see 180?
Heading 360, slow 180, Skyway 45.
Trying to stop students from, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, I like teaching. I've been a guitar teacher for a long time. I've played since I was really little, and I've been teaching actual kids for the last 10 years. I like it.
So it's 4590 to maintain 3000.
Multi-engine, definitely important, but I mean, we wouldn't really need that for CFI, would you?
Airport dispatch, that's 45.9.
That was one of the questions that I asked those guys in terms of trying to find a roadmap to like a CPL. I assumed that it would do multi-engine as quickly as possible. What did you do your multi-engine rating in?
So 4590 to the left, heading 330, clear visual first from my way left.
Heading 330, clear to going, clear visual 3 or 28 left, guys, 45.9.
See if our gears come down. I don't know where the alternate gear extension lever is in this plane. It'd be bad if they did it.
00, then 4,000, right?
3 greens.
Tower Delta 2763, Delta 2763, tower number 1, way 24 right to the left. 24 right to the left, Delta 2763.
Reverse for 929.
929, yes, full short, runway 24 left.
Full short 2 for left, reverse, that's 929.
Delta 129, tower nav Del Rey, with 2 for left for takeoff.
RNAV Del Rey, 24 left, clear for takeoff. Delta 129.
Delta 6051, contact for parts today.
Good day.
with 46, RNF Delray, report to the northbound Delta Jet rolling in sight, with 24 left line of void.
Alright, 24 left line up and away. We got Delta inside roadway at 486. Outside of Jetsam.
Delta 1543, pass super, Airbus 38 out to parallel, Convoy turbulent, wind 240 at 10, wind 24 right to the land.
Clear to land, full right, Delta.
Ooh, we made it, guys. And we made a turnoff. Thank you. Shut off the engine and we'll watch replay. Although, to be honest, we basically were flying in the final approach path for one of the runways at what's the airport there? Las Vegas McCarran?
24 left, clear for takeoff, RNF Delray.
That's fine.
Arrival 46.
It's actually pretty loud, eh? Well, you happen to catch me on a good day. I've had worse. I've had way worse.
Station is 201 Super, RNAV Delray, wind 240 diner, with 24 left to takeoff.
I'll go over between these barrens. Oh, boys.
For 46 Southwest for 56.
Our departure over 46, yeah.
Curious to I'll look through the maintenance log and see if it showed what happened. Where'd that be? Here we go. Everything still says okay. That'd be, if you want to join our Discord, that'd be amazing. Or if you have your own Discord, there's a link down below. The button that says UMA is where me and McFaddy, who was here earlier, kind of hang out there with a bunch of other X-Plane nerds. Replay mode. Here we go. One more time. Hold on a second. Look at where I'm at here. So this is after turning base. I don't know what runways those are. But that's McCarran International. That's illegal, probably. I didn't used to, but it's really good for flight simming. And if you got X-Plane, we do group flights. Well, we used to do it more often, but that's a pretty fun time. There you go. So we would have been in the final approach path for 3.5. So here's a question for you guys. Next week, since it's Oshkosh, I'm going to fly to Oshkosh on stream at some point, and I think I need something unique. Commander Mander was in here, we were talking about it. I think P-51's on my short list, DC-3. What else would be good to fly in there? See how close I was to the touchdown zone. Little float, that's what I like to do. Just float halfway down the runway. Gotta get that butter landing. Although apparently your FAA check ride guy for your commercial license probably not gonna feel the same way about that. That was probably the final one for me. It feels like I've been streaming forever, because normally I try to keep streams to about an hour and a half or under 2 hours or something, but because we had that problem, a 200 nautical mile flight ended up being quite a bit longer because I was flying 130 knots ground speed for most of it. But I'll be back tomorrow morning, so your evening probably sometime. If you're going to be around, I usually stream on Saturday mornings. It's currently, right now, it's 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. for me. Alrighty, fellas, it's gonna do it for me. Deutschworks, you don't get in here and pretend like you saw that, you bitch. Snuck out, did something with his fam. Boys, thanks for hanging out. Gamer called Chris, thanks for stopping by. 50 Shades, that was cool, man. It's a pleasure having you around here. It's nice to have a real pilot to ask questions in the stream. Commander Mander, you as well. I appreciate you guys. Rensler, Dan, Commander Man, Reserve Fleets, guys, thanks for the follows today. Back tomorrow morning, a few hours, I guess, for you guys. You damn liar. We will see you guys later. Take care. Peace.